Do you feel like because hip hop is kind of in this commercial state that sometimes, or not even sometimes, it's become a capitalization off of cultural trauma?
Well, that's a good. I like when people ask specific questions. That was dope. Um, is it capitalizing off specific trauma?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It is. As is that's one of many things it's doing. But when you diagnose the problem specifically, like, because hip hop is black culture, you know what I mean? Black and, black culture and as well as Latino. And then that's what it was birthed from. But it's kind of a double edged sword to me. So let me put it to you like this. I always connect hip hop with Africa, directly to African traditions, whether it's griots, whether it's the West African Gullah people of the Georgia Sea Islands,
Mm-hmm.
the Caribbean people. DJ Kool Herc, DJ Kool Herc is Caribbean. You know what I mean, right? What are those people? I believe that there's a direct line from hip hop, the transatlantic slave trade, to Africa.
Sure.
So it's a culture that was birthed out of the necessity of people being, in captivity,
Mm-hmm.
victims of imperialism or whatever you want to call it. It's a beautiful thing that we're able to create it out of that, but it's still a reflection of that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's the good side, sometimes it's the bad side. But the problem with it is when you have other people commercializing and benefiting off the narrative. It's kind of like Django Unchained.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was a great, entertaining movie, but it's still someone else telling black folks' story or controlling the narrative. So that's when it gets kind of like, yo, is this enjoyable or is this a character, you know what I mean, exploiting it?
Sure.
You know what I mean? I think that's kind of the problem. And I think that hip hop is the number one, or has become the number one form of music entertainment. At one point in time, it wasn't like that.
Right.
10, 20, 25 years
Now
ago.
it's mainstream.
Now it's completely mainstream. You know what I mean? So now you get all these different versions, all these kind of like weird mixed hybrid versions of it's not really hip hop to me, it's rap. You know what I mean? Because hip hop, I was having a conversation with one of my mentors, OGs, and he was like, yo, because I would always be like, yo, it's all a part of hip hop. It's all a part of hip hop. But he was just like, yo, if you really break it down from the 80s, like, hip hop had specific elements. And if it didn't have those elements, that was not considered hip hop. And then we kind of got lenient with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, for instance, like having you had to have a DJ in hip hop. That's what it was. If it wasn't that, then it wasn't hip hop, because the DJ was first.
Yeah.
But then it became like, okay, we just gonna rap over a dat. We just gonna rap over our vocals. You know what I mean? It's rap music, which comes from hip hop. But if you ain't got the DJ there with you, it's kind of like, well, what you doing? Then people rap over bands and stuff, which is dope. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shunning people who rap over bands, because I think it's dope. But that's a little bit outside of the realm of hip hop, because hip hop was the art, the MC and the DJ and the dancers and the graffiti. So I don't know.
Do you think some of like what's been going on culturally has trickled over into other areas like
You got to be more specific.
politics?